Transportation. It can be public, it can be private, it can be epic. But the most popular form of transportation over the years has been the car, which is cringe. Look at these stupid little dumb boxes of plastic and Malaysian child labor. Dumb. There are way better ways of getting around that aren't these little gay cockroach vehicles. So, I'm going to be going over some of the transportation alternatives to cars, just to try and get these eyesores off of the streets and into the landfill where they belong.
Subscribe to Next Grade on YouTube. You won't regret it.
How should we rate them, you may probably not ask? Well, I'll answer you anyway. I'll be rating them from a 0 to 5 scale of epicosity, practicality, and pickup factor. What do all of these mean? I don't know either. The first vehicle being the bicycle, aka the baseline. Listen, if you ride a bicycle as a means of transportation, you're either homeless or one of the kids from Stranger Things. There is only one upside to these things, which is it's cheap. So, epicosity, 0 out of 5, very not epic. Practicality, it's cheap and doesn't require gas, 4 out of 5. Pickup factor, unspecified. I mean, if someone pulls up on a bike and asks you out, you gotta understand the confidence of that, which is just attractive. So I'm gonna give the bike a pickup factor of 3 out of 5. But here's the big daddy, the motorcycle, baby. Motorcycles are what happens when a bike goes through its Virgin to Chad arc and becomes something truly epic. Motorcycles are always given to the cool people in movies. Say Lara Croft in that weird Tomb Raider movie, or Ghost Rider in the good version of Ghost Rider that doesn't use a stupid car. Come on, man. It was so perfect before. Or Neo and the other one in that Matrix movie we all collectively pretended did not exist. Epicosity. Cool ride for cool people. 5 out of 5. Practicality. You will break every single bone in your body if you crash. 1 out of 5. Pickup factor. You pull up whipping the motorcycle, you are either really cool or really obnoxious. 3 out of 5. Well, moving away from the two-wheeled vehicles for a second, I'd like to talk about my favorite car alternative, the unicycle. One of the greatest vehicles of all time. It was invented by a man in Venezuela named Richard Uni. Considering Venezuela's intense poverty, he had to sell his prized bicycle. See, I told you cyclists are poor. But he didn't want to sell it, so he cut it in half and sold the other half, creating the first ever Unicycle. Whereas Richard Uni now, he died of malaria. He did. Would be better if they finally invented the first motor unicycle, but sadly that day is yet to come, so I'm gonna have to deduct points for that. Epicosity, pretty poggers, 4 out of 5. Practicality, kinda mid, 2 out of 5. Pickup factor, there is literally no way of picking up someone on this, but if you could, you would be picking up more women than Dwayne Johnson picks up weights. 3 out of 5. Next up, golf carts, but only this one being driven by this monkey. A clear sweep in all categories. The only thing that could be a turnoff is that monkeys are expensive and dangerous. Don't believe me? Look up the Attack of Travis. Actually, don't. It scared me for a little bit. Alright, before we get into our number one spot, we got a sponsor, baby! Woo! That's right. W Energy is here to bless your taste buds with the greatest energy drink on the market. I'm gonna be honest, I've been on a bit of an energy drink binge ever since I started on a diet which took out sugar and dairy, which means no coffee with cream or sugar, which is basically just awful. I hate it. It's so bad. But all of these energy drinks really did not do the trick. Either they tasted like battery acid, gave me jitters, or I had a huge crash after about an hour after drinking. This became a huge problem as I was drinking 2 cans of energy drinks per day to stay awake, which is not healthy in the slightest. But W Energy is much better. It's the only energy drink that I've had that doesn't have a crash after an hour, and it doesn't give me jitters. Plus, it tastes really good. So, head on over to w.gg to get your order in now, and use code NEXT2GREAT to get 10% off your purchase of anything in the store. This also helps the channel every single time you use the code, as a portion of it goes to help support the channel. That's code NEXT2GREAT, NEX2GR8 at checkout. Thank you for listening. Now, on with the video. So, the number one pick, a very controversial one, but a good one nonetheless. The wheelchair, baby! That's right, the wheelchair is the best vehicle to ever be made. Now, the wheelchair actually stems back to the ancient Greek, made by the great Julius Caesar, where their greatest warriors could use a variant of the modern wheelchair to enter battle once again after being injured. This was called the combat wheelchair. Sadly, the fatality rate was 99%. So they scrapped the idea. 99 and not 100 because there was a combat wheelchair user who survived the battle. Sadly, though, he lost his legs in that fight. Very, very sad. It must have been quite the loss. Later on in our history, the Romans used a horse-drawn wheelchair known as the wheel chariot. But, sadly, once again, they didn't realize, see what I did there, that the horses would be way too fast for the disabled Romans. So that didn't really pan out. Then, in feudal Japan, there were the wheelchair shinobi that also didn't really work out too well. The enemy would kind of just walk upstairs and they would be fine. They weren't really stealthy either, on account of the fact that they were in a wheelchair. Yeah, it didn't really work. But in modern day, the modern wheelchair has become accessible to not only the disabled, but the abled. Therefore, we can all experience the power of the wheelchair and use it to the best of our ability as the substitute to the putrid little cars. So, epicosity? Beyond a Poggers gamer moment when someone pulls up in one of these. 5 out of 5. Practicality? The modern society has access ramps now, making the power of the wheelchair users unlimited. 5 out of 5. Pickup factor? If you're in a wheelchair, you are 103 times more attractive. 7 out of 5. So that's my ranking for these substitutes to the awful, terrible, scummy little garbage car. And maybe one day, if enough people see this video, we can get these cars off of the streets for good. Share this video with as many people as you can to show the benefits of a world without cars. But that's all for now. See ya, gamers.